I am excited to introduce our next speaker, Rebbetzin Rivka Malka Pearlman. I love this woman. She's an international speaker known for her energizing, uplifting inspiration. Following a near-death experience, she opened Rivka Malka's School of Coaching and Transformation, where she trains women in life coaching. And through her school, workshops, and online presence, she guides women to heal from their past, rewrite their story, and discover their life mission. You can learn more by going to rivkamalka.com. I'll put the link in the chat. And she's going to be sharing with us about Perek chapter 5, having a breakthrough experience with Hashem. So without further ado, I give you Rebbetzin Rivka Malka Pearlman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Orly. I'm sorry. Whoa. Thank you, Abraham Legacy. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Karen. That was so inspiring to sit and just soak you in and get me into a great state to speak. It's so special to be in here with you. And I'm just shocked and amazed by the women who are here. There's so many of you. It's just such a beautiful thing to see thirsty hearts and Hashem's most gorgeous daughters and my friends. Just moves me to tears, this gathering. So just a big, big blessing for our small time together and a big blessing for this whole project that just so much sincerity and good-heartedness has been poured into this, and it should bring a big, big healing to every single one of us and in Hashem to Hashem and to the whole entire world. So today I'm going to share a personal story. The title of my talk is called Having a Breakthrough with Hashem. And the only way that I know how to share that is to be honest. So I'm just going to walk you through my moments over here, and you can take a ride with me. When we organized this talk, I told Naomi Perek, but I'm the kind of person that just like things fly out of my brain when I get emotional. I'm like, I forget everything. I'm like, oh, Perek, did I say that? Oh, sorry, we're not on Perek. But don't worry, we'll take it back to Tehillim. We're going to do that all together. So without further ado, here we go. B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. Okay. So here's what happened. One fine day, I got into a conversation with a loved one, and it started out lovely. I mean, just excited, connected. I'm sharing my latest ideas. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And then I end up on some touchy subjects, and it slowly goes downhill. Not everyone can hear everything. It just, some topics like, you have a certain kid, they can't go to davening, just don't touch davening for a while, like for a long while, let somebody else do that. So it was one of those, like I'm hitting up against a wall. I'm like trying to express myself, but the vibration in the conversation is just down, down, down. And this is one of the things that happens with women. Our Bina Yesera is so like fine-tuned that we know things, but we also have to use Gevura and not say everything we know. We got to let the people that we love do their process. So, I went to bed just feeling horrible. You don't have a good connection with someone, you don't feel good. So went to bed, woke up the next morning, and my body was out of whack. The only way that I could describe this is I felt like a garbage can. And my mother taught me to use refined language, but that's about as I felt like a garbage can. Like, this must be what Oscar the Grouch feels like. Like, I just felt horrible. My body felt horrible. I come down in my robe. I'm still sitting there. I'm curled up on the couch. I feel terrible. I cannot get the day started. And because I am a human and Hashem wanted to give me this beautiful experience, what did I do? Do you think that I just recovered? Opened up my Tehillim? No, that would have been a good idea. What I did was I reopened the conversation. Remember last night's conversation, how it didn't go well? And I reopened the conversation. Okay, now guess how I felt. You're welcome to put it in the chat box if you know this feeling. Rivka Malka, what did you do? Like, just turn to Hashem, get on with it. Gather yourself, find your thing. Some things are between people, some things are between you. You don't know what's triggering, like, okay, but there I was, and maybe it was like 12 o'clock, and I'm like feeling terrible because I just reopened it, and here is this vibration again. Terrible. So what should I do? Well, should I open it to Tehillim? That would be a good idea. What I actually did was I took a drive. I said, okay, you know what? I got to get dressed. I got to take a shower. I got to take a drive. I got to talk to Hashem. I got to straighten this thing out. So I'm driving and I'm circling and I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? Like, what am I hoping to find over here? And I really wasn't sure. I'm talking to Hashem, but my shame is just climbing up, 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 up. Like, why did I enter into this conversation? Why am I acting like this? What is my trigger? What is going on? So I drive right to Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm like, I remember that donuts sometimes help me back in the day. Maybe a donut will help. This is a true story. So I got a donut and a coffee. And I ate that donut. And then I drove down the block. This is just to tell you what a breakthrough I needed. I went to the next Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, I need another donut. For real, 2 Boston creams. So now I'm trying to talk to Hashem. I'm trying to clear myself. I've tried turning to donuts. It's not working. So I'm driving around and I'm like, okay, I got to get it together. Thank God I have people that love me. I have people I'm in charge of loving. I got to get this together. My trigger's crazy. I keep driving. And where do I find myself? I find myself in Joann Fabrics. And I say, you know what? I'm not acting nice. I didn't act nice. This is not cool. I got to fix myself. I got to do something. I have to reinstate my own dignity. And I start looking at fabrics. Now I kind of wear scarves from, just stores and stuff. But back in the day when I first began to wear tichels, I would always cut my own fabric because nobody was selling tichels. So I started to look for beautiful fabric. And I was like talking to Hashem this whole time, like mamish, like me and Hashem are in therapy. I'm in therapy with him. What did I do, Hashem? Okay, fine. I didn't act nicely. I'm going to reinstate my malchus. Okay, Hashem, let's do this together. You're going to buy me some tichels now. That's what I need. And I start looking at beautiful fabrics and I get them cut. And before I know it, I'm like in shopping therapy, right? Shopping therapy comes next. So I try that and I start the artist in me just goes crazy. I'm getting lace, I'm getting satin. I'm like, I need a lot of comfort right now. I need burgundies, I need golds, I need the whole thing. I'm buying it all. I stand at the thing, I'm cutting it. The shopping therapy is like kind of calming me down. I go to pay for it. It's $430. And I'm like, I leave the store. I go home. I leave the bags in my car because I'm like, something's wrong over here. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have $430 to spend on anything. We have to fix this. Joann Fabrics is a half an hour away. I get back in my car. The whole time I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy with Hashem. Okay, I'm talking to him. I'm saying, Hashem, what do you want from me? Like, I have such a pain in my heart. I have such a shame in my heart. It's not going anywhere. And I'm davening to you and I'm talking to you and nothing's working. Hashem, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Well, one thing I know is that I've learned that a queen is one who makes the right choices. I said, I'm going to make the right choice. I'm going to go back to Joann Fabrics. I'm going to return all those tichels. I go to return all the tichels because what am I doing? And as I'm standing there, I realize a taste of kindness from Hashem. Honey, you don't have to return them all. A little shopping therapy is okay. It's all right. So I keep a few. $311 goes back and I'm standing there and they're like, we can't do such a big return. This doesn't work. You can't have $311 back. So we'll send you a corporate check. And I'm standing there again, therapy with Hashem. I'm like, Hashem, did I do something so bad? I'm standing here and I'm like, I can't even get my money back. And my family's waiting at home. And I'm like zipping around town, fixing my mistakes. And I don't know how to fix this mistake that I just hurt someone and hurt myself. And I'm trying to talk it out with Hashem. Nothing is working. Okay. Finally, I get home. And as I get home, I see the people that I love. And I start realizing, hang on, this dialogue that I'm having with Hashem, this got nothing to do with Hashem. This is why he's not answering me. This is why I'm chasing my tail, trying to find comfort. This has been Adam L'Chavero. I can't bring Hashem my problems with other people. I have to treat other people right. He's like, I felt like I know about tefillah, I know about davening, I know about thinking Hashem, I know about his bodedus. Why is nothing working? Not even the tangible physical gifts, not even when I say, Hashem, you want me to tichel, nothing's working. Oh, because I just didn't treat someone nicely. That's all. Even if I thought I was right, somehow it wasn't right. And I get my first taste of comfort in my therapy with Hashem, first taste. So I go home and I realize that Originally, I knew, don't bring up the topic. The thing to do is not to bring up the topic now. Bad idea. Don't even apologize. Just don't touch it. The same way that I'm in pain, the other person's in pain. What am I longing for from Hashem? Comfort, compassion. Have mercy on me. I messed up. I don't know what I'm doing. And I say to myself, you know what? I'm going to bring my compassion to this other person. Just comfort, just compassion, just tea and cake, just nice things, just be normal. Just don't stir the pot because everyone has sensitive areas. Just do for the other person what I want Hashem to do for me. All I want is to feel better. I'm sure this other person just wants to feel better. So what I realized is that there's this incredible prayer that we say all the time. Hashem sefasai tiftach upi agid tilasacha. God, open my lips so my mouth can sing your praises, which means Rebbetzin teaches that when you don't speak to someone, the mind / Yetzer Hara spins stories about them. And that's why the only way to think good about another person is to get back into communication with them. Open my lips, then I can sing your praises. Otherwise, we're back in our own stories about shame and blame and accusation. They weren't enough, they shouldn't, right? All kinds of things. So I have to get back into communication. This is not going to take place in the heaven. This is earth right here. This is real life. So I go and I give my compassion. And the minute that I do that, and I forgive that person for, I had to forgive myself and come into like, I just did something wrong and I can fix it. And then I had to forgive this other person. Well, they responded like awfully. So I got to forgive them too. And the minute I did that, no joke, all of a sudden it came to my mind in my therapy with Hashem. You have to forgive Hashem. And I ran to my office right where I am now. I ran here. I got my pen. I got my paper. And I said, whoa. What is going on today? Like, I'm a person that teaches about transformation, self-healing, self-discovery. Like, why am I a wreck? What am I missing over here? So my breakthrough with Hashem was recognizing that as a human being, I may think that I have emunah and bitachon, and I do. And yet there is a piece of me that was beating myself up so bad that every time I beat myself up, I'm beating Hashem up as well. So I sat here with my pen and I said, you know what? Hashem, I forgive you. I forgive you that you made me impulsive. I forgive you that you made me with my wounds. I forgive you that you made this creation to be so emotional. I forgive you. Like, I forgive you that because I was like, I can't be more than I'm being. I'm giving this life my maximum, my 100%. Still, I had the day, I call it a Gehenna day. Like, I'm like, Gehenna is like, you can't find Hashem, you can't find comfort. It's dark. Why was it so dark? Because I didn't just accept my humanity. I didn't just accept. I was deep in the shame of Mamash Gehenna day. So I wrote down, I forgive you, Hashem. I forgive you. I forgive you for making me human the way that I am. And I had this deep recognition. I said, whoa. Every time I don't like myself, I'm not liking Hashem. I couldn't find him because I'm the piece of Hashem. Like, Hashem has no problem that I'm sometimes impulsive. I work on it, but like this is the program. This is the Tzelem Elokim. Every time I put myself down, even in my head, I'm literally like stomping on Hashem. I hate your creation. I hate it. I hate it. And that's what my day was. I was hating Hashem's creation called me. So I said, you know, Hashem, this was my breakthrough with Hashem. Then, finally, day passed. I settled down. I had to rebuild myself because, Mamash, I tell you, I didn't know I was going to share this story, but if you have something you learn, you got to share it. I literally had a day in Gehenna from hating myself, which is hating Hashem's creation, like a day of Gehenna. And so I repaired, things slowed down. And then the next day, I couldn't fall asleep. I was kind of traumatized by this whole experience because it wasn't like I was going to tell everyone at home. At home, I just like came home and made dinner, you know? And I was like in a trauma state because I felt like I'd like lost my mind and lost my bearings. It's what it feels like when you're out of alignment. Like the triggers just, you don't even know what they are. So I teach in my classes that when you have a trigger, you have to realize, and this is what I was trying to do, that your system has been hacked. You are a beautiful daughter of Hashem. You are dignified, graceful, generous, kind, loyal, loving, warm-hearted. When you get a trigger and the Yetzer Hara comes in, it's just a hacking of the system. My system was hacked. And the way to get back is to forgive and accept it, and then to remember, who am I outside of this trigger? Because this is just my Yetzer Hara. This is the trigger, but I'm not that. I'm this whole person, right? I'm here. So I was like, took me a whole day to remember, who am I when I'm not crazy woman? I'm okay. I'm a good person. I'm lovable. I'm nice. And I felt so much healing from Hashem. So many brachas came into my day. Then, early, I opened up the Tehillim. And when I did open up the Tehillim, started to notice something amazing. I did my secret trick. I'm sure you all have this secret trick. It's like, Shem, I don't know what you want from me, so I'll just click on Abraham's legacy and see which Tehillim comes up. It's good, right? Like, oh, what's the message from Hashem today? Read it in English, take it in, then read it in Hebrew. So what am I reading from David HaMelech? I'm reading all about Hashem. I love your commandments. I love them. I am so delighted with your commandments, like someone who has found riches and gold. And many other verses, because I was going through them. That's why we're not in Perek. I was just like, wow. David HaMelech loves Hashem. We all know that he's the lover of Hashem, and he's through the hard times and through the good times and thanking Hashem no matter what, and going through Yisurim. But there's something else that he's teaching me about love today, to love Hashem's commandments. And then when I thought about that, I said, wait a minute here. Hashem is never going to leave me to my own triggers. Hashem is merciful. Let's see, what are the commandments? Oh, okay. We start with judge your fellow man favorably. Good. We continue with v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. We go on to just so many mitzvos ben adam lachavero, where Hashem actually guides us in the instruction of how to treat one another to make a pleasant life. And if we deviate from that, we're not going to feel good. And we're going to come back to ourselves, and we're going to go back to the commandments. So I realized that in the journey of Tehillim, there's different stages in our life. Sometimes you're just crying out in pain, and there's Tehillim for that. But then there's also Tehillim that are for resurrection, like Hashem, resurrect me, for I have fallen, build me up again. And David HaMelech is not shy about that experience. I remember a major breakthrough moment for me was when Rabbi Eliezer Brody said, David HaMelech fell and got back up, fell and got back up. And if he didn't, he said like 1,000 times, but if he didn't, if he just said, I fell and drove around in circles of insanity, we wouldn't have Tehillim. We would not have his journey. We have to say, I fell, get me back. And David HaMelech showed me how. Cling to the commandments. Cling, because they're your lifeline, especially in human relationships where, it's the trigger runs the show, because it's a nervous system experience of like, survival, or I can't, or I'm hurt, or I don't know what to do. The commandments lead the way. So I sat myself down and I started to learn the laws of Shmir Salashon, the laws of guarding your tongue. Now here's something awesome. What happened was, this is the epilogue to the breakthrough. What happened was that I decided to learn the laws of Shmir Salashon, not to teach them, because that's how I learned best not long ago. And Sarah Leah, who's on here, she saw me online and she's like, Rivka Malka, where's our classes on Shmir Salashon? And I was like, well, what happened was I asked someone which book to buy, someone who I love and respect. They sent me a book. They gave me a book recommendation. I bought it. I was fired up. I opened the book and I didn't like it. So I didn't teach. So I said, well, that did not work out so well, did it? Because when you're involved in Hashem's teachings and commandments, you're on your game. You can't just leave your game, especially using your mouth for a commitment. So I said, Sarlea, you were the one, your enthusiasm, you're like, I want to learn with you. I'm like, okay. So I picked it up, the book that I did not like, and I opened it up. And the very first page, I promise you, lesson 1 of 40 days says, this is what lesson 1 says. It says, inspiration. Wait, let me just find it. Day 1. Turn intentions into achievements. And it talks all about Chaim, who decided to start learning Nach, and he put his Tehillim, he put his Nach next to his bed and everything, and how when he woke up, he was like, yeah, not in the mood. And then he remembered that the Yetzer Hara comes to get you. The Yetzer Hara loves new projects and moments of inspiration. That's a perfect time for him to convince us that we've bitten off more than we could chew. So I was like, whoa, okay, that happened to me. So we're going to just wrap up. I'm going to tell you a couple of things. First of all, having a breakthrough experience with Hashem. There were many points of learning for me in this day. I have a little package over here of memes that just keep me sane. And one of them says the days that are the hardest are the days that you learn most about yourself. So the first thing was that we're going to have hard days. And sometimes you'll turn to Tehillim, sometimes you'll need donut editions or other pretty things. We're going to have some hard days, and we're in good company with David HaMelech. Yay. Like, he taught us it's okay to be human. Second thing is that I believe, and I have to believe, that Hashem listened to all my prayers, because I was praying from 12 till 7. Everything was just I was like working and working and working. I really believe every prayer is answered, and it's just like it needs to be answered in the right time, in the right way, when you sort yourself out, and when it's good for you and good for the whole thing. But don't stop praying, because the answer will come. And then the third takeaway for me was the self-hatred is just, I teach it, time to learn it at the next level. Doesn't work. It's an insult to Hashem. However he made you, even David HaMelech wasn't perfect, lo and behold, right? Nor was his life a pack of roses. But, from a shiftless is lowliness, comes malchus. When you empty yourself out, you're like, I can't, I can't, I messed up. You have an opportunity for malchus, which malchus is, I want to represent you, Hashem. Keter is Hashem's intention. Malchus is what it looks like in this world. It's the reflection. So shiftless comes from malchus. Sometimes you got to go down to take back your dignity and to fire up that dignity. And then the final thing is that I realized, wait a minute, we treat Tehillim as if it's almost like just a book of comfort or anything, but it's literally part of our Torah. It's part of our instruction. It is, right? It's in Tanakh. It's not just, it's not like an addendum to Jewish living. It is our Jewish living. So that was really supportive to me in recognizing that anchoring in Tehillim is anchoring in Torah, and we can learn so much from there. I also made the commitment, and Sarah Leah was my witness, that I'm going to be teaching Shmiras HaLashon. So I'm going to wind down this experience by letting you know that I will be teaching Shmiras HaLashon. I already posted my first video last night on Torah Anytime, because I know that, when it comes to humanity, we need a lot of support in maintaining beautiful relationships and a beautiful relationship with ourselves and Hashem. So it's my prayer and my hope that with a combination of the support of Tehillim and the instruction of Shmiras HaLashon, that I can take my day of Kehenim, turn my pain into power, and just have a good time along with you, really, really deepening our appreciation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, beautiful commandments. That is all. You can find that on Torah Anytime.